St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline, this is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tashan Tyson in with the VON Major News package for today, Friday, 6 September 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, Red Cross launches emergency response operation for the Bahamas, and Four Seasons Resort Nevis employees to commence work at resort on September 16th. Regionally, Hurricane Dorian death toll still on the rise in the Bahamas, looting a concern. Internationally, Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's strongman ex-president, dies at age 95. And in sports, Serena Williams reaches U.S. Open final and will face Bianca Andreescu. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back. Another national news in detail. According to a release from the St. Kitts Nevis Red Cross, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, IRFRC, have launched an emergency response operation to assist citizens and residents in the Bahamas. Hurricane Dorian devastated the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama, and many homes, lives, and businesses were lost due to the catastrophic storm. The release reads in part, and I quote, "The St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society is launching an appeal to the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis for cash contributions only at this time to aid the victims of this disaster," end quote. The release also stated that contributions to this fund should be deposited to account number 107024305 at First Caribbean Bank, the Circus Bastia St. Kitts, or Main Street Charlestown, or account number 25401 at the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, corner of West Independence Square and Central Street, or Charlestown. Goods are not being accepted at this time, as these items will create a logistical nightmare in the absence of sorting facilities, storage, and adequate transportation. The proceeds collected will provide vital services and bring some level of normalcy to the lives of approximately 300 households. Donations received will go to purchase items such as non-perishable goods, baby supplies, cleaning items, bedding, water, and sanitation assistance, and will also assist with the feeding, clothing, and restoration of homes of persons affected on those islands. In more national news,
the general manager confirmed that workers will be back to work on September 16th as scheduled. The long, hard summer will be over, and that workers will be going back to work at the Four Seasons Resort as scheduled. He indicates that the resort reopens on October 1st, and that while they will still have some other work to do, because naturally with construction you have delays, they will have some additional work to do, but he said they will be receiving their first guests by October 4th, and I believe that is good news for Nevis.
Premier Honorable Mark Brantley, in speaking with the General Manager of the Four Seasons Resort Nevis, Gonzalo Guelman Ross, Mr. Brantley provided this additional information.
Now, why are workers going back on September 16th if the first guest doesn't come until October 4th? Is because they're going to have a massive retraining. And he has advised that they're going to do that in two tranches, one starting on September 16th and the other starting sometime, I believe, around the 23rd or thereabouts of September.
Premier Honorable Mark Brantley. On June 1st, 2019, the resort temporarily closed its doors for a 4-month period to accommodate construction work and this resulted in almost 400 workers receiving 25% of their salaries. Last month, the Nevis Island Administration NIA gave $1,000 to all the Four Seasons resort workers affected by the temporary closure of the resort to assist in back-to-school expenses. In police news, Kimber Watley of St. Paul, St. Kitts has been arrested and charged according to a police communique. On Wednesday, September 4th, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, RSCNPF, issued a bulletin for Watley, who was wanted for the offense of wounding with intent, which occurred on July 24, 2019. However, he was captured later that same day in St. Paul's. The police would like to thank all the persons who assisted with this matter by sharing information with law enforcement officials and all media houses for sharing the poster with their audiences. On February 6, 2019, the Nevis Island Administration NIA, through the Nevis Air and Seaport Authority NASPA, signed a concession agreement with BNL Worldwide Limited, which was, according to Nevis's Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, expected to bring benefit to Nevis. Mr. Jeffers stood in for the Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, who was off island at the time. However, 6 months have passed and much has not been said with respect to the aforementioned. At his press conference on Thursday, September 5th, Mr. Brantley provided an update on the matter.
I have met with the representatives from that company. They have brought their preliminary designs for the project. I believe that they are to come back to meet with the full cabinet and to present those, and the cabinet will then have an opportunity to say whether this is something we want, this is what they're proposing, or whether it goes beyond or outside the ambit of what it is we would like to see for Nevis. So that is being arranged at this time, but they have produced a preliminary design which they've shared with me as the Premier and which the cabinet will have access to. So that is as much as I can tell you by way of update, and we hope to have something further soon once we're able to meet with the team who are to come to meet with the cabinet on this matter.
The Honorable Mark Brantley. In more national news,
to showcase some of our talents, our young people, and some of our local performers as well. And we try to keep the show patriotic, that is centered around independence, and the show consists of gospel, different types of dance, poetry, and drama.
In celebration of St. Kitts and Nevis's 36th anniversary of independence, an Independence Fiesta will be held tonight at 7 p.m. on Bank Street in St. Kitts. The VON Newsline spoke with the coordinator of Independence Fiesta, Mr. Roy Phipps, who provided some details on the event. Mr. Phipps indicated that for this year, the event is divided into segments.
This year, we have different sections. Section 1 is God in All Our Struggles. That will showcase the gospel band, gospel singers, liturgical dance, and soloists. Second section is a Stalwart We Stand, and we featured primary school, Calypso Monarch, and National Junior Monarch, National Senior First Run-Up, and Best to the West. And the third section with A Common Destiny that featured more steel pan poetry, song, African dance, dramatic presentation, musical rendition, and modeling of some of our local designers. So that is the nature of the show this year.
Coordinator of Independence Fiesta, Mr. Roy Phipps. The concert is free of charge. The theme for this year's Independence is Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36. In more national news,
I wanted to indicate that Mrs. Pamela Pemberton, the director of the Nevis Sixth Form, has retired. She retired on the 31st of August 2019.
That was Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Established in 1980 under Nevis's first Premier, Sir Simeon Daniel, the Nevis Sixth Form College was meant to provide Nevisians leaving secondary schools an opportunity at a quality start to tertiary level education. Ms. Pamela Pemberton has been head of the institution for a number of years. Her dedication and years of service was recognized by the Premier during his monthly press conference on September 5th.
She has contributed and contributed and contributed. She has contributed well and above what one would normally require, and she has led the sixth form for many years with distinction. And I would want to wish her all the very best in her retirement, and whatever the next phase holds for her, I would want to wish her success.
The Honorable Mark Brantley. Principal of the Charleston Secondary School, Mr. Vaughn Williams, will be taking over as head of the college. On September 8, 2019, the Commemorate Methodist Church will be holding a National Heroes Service as one of the multiple events being held in celebration of their 190th anniversary. The service is meant to commemorate the years of service and the contributions our heroes made towards the development of the Federation. The service will also recognize outstanding members of the congregation, as well as their contributions to the development of the church. The event will be carried live here on VON Radio 860 AM. And finally, Dr. Colin Cannonier is the featured speaker at the Prime Minister's Independence Lecture Series, scheduled for Thursday, September 12th, at the Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, starting at 7 p.m. The theme for this year's Independence is Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36. Dr. Cannonier, who is a son of the soil, is an Associate Professor of Economics and Globe Fellow at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. According to his biography on http://www.belmont.edu, Dr. Cannonier's professional experience includes work as a balance of payments BOP economist and statistician at Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, where he undertook missions to assist national BOP compilers in member countries and pursue development work in BOP. In addition, he also worked as a country economist for Angola, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Life can be more fulfilling when we take the time out to smell the roses. And that's why your friends and family at the Bank of Nevis are experts at picking the flowers that best describe you. Whether you're planning to treat yourself after a long work week or finally getting around to that closet update, you deserve all the special things that life has to offer. And the Bond Visa card is here to help you achieve it. With just a swipe, you can turn a last-minute lunch date with friends and family into something worth remembering, with memories that will last a lifetime. Pampering yourself just got a whole lot easier. And after all, you deserve every refreshing moment of it. The ability to make your travel arrangements at your own convenience, whether by sea or by air, now rests within the palm of your hand. With a single swipe, the Bond Visa card can put a world of difference between life and truly living. Whereas the only limit you may have is your own imagination. Apply today. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Out of the Bahamas, the death toll from Hurricane Dorian is on the rise, with confirmed fatalities increasing to 13. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said that he expected a further increase. As the days progress, a clearer picture is emerging of the death and destruction which Dorian caused when it made landfall first in Abaco as a Category 5 hurricane with 185 mph winds and gusts as high as 200 miles per hour, then slowly moved over Grand Bahama, where it remained stationary for hours. Minnis said many people were trapped in what was left of their homes and some were still in shelters. There are many on Grand Bahama who are suffering, the Prime Minister said as he lamented the generational devastation brought by Hurricane Dorian. He also addressed reports of looting on Abaco, warning that those caught would feel the full weight of the law. Be warned, we will prosecute looters and other lawbreakers to the full extent of the law. We are a country of laws, the Bahamian leader said. He added that to enforce security on the islands, additional police and defense officers have already been deployed. Meantime, more morticians are being flown into the hurricane-hit Abaco and Grand Bahama as the death toll rises, and additional doctors and treatment facilities are being flown in for the scores of people who sustained serious injuries when Hurricane Dorian slammed into the northern Bahamas. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands reported that additional morticians and refrigerated coolers to store bodies were being transported to the two islands as they were running out of cooler capacity. He said morticians were also being flown in to embalm the remains that authorities have limited capacity to accommodate. He said on local radio station Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, "It is going to be significantly higher than that. It's just a matter of retrieving those bodies, making sure we understand how they died. It seems like we are splitting hairs, but not everyone who died in the storm." According to Caribbean 360, when asked to estimate the number of fatalities from Hurricane Dorian, the health minister declined to hazard a guess, but said, "I believe the number will be staggering." Also expected to rise in the number of injured. Out of St. Martin. An investigating judge in the Court of First Instance extended the preventative detention of Member of Parliament MP Franz Richardson on Wednesday for 8 more days. The leader of the United St. Martin Party was arrested by the Anti-Corruption Task Force (TOB) on Monday morning. Mr. Richardson is suspected of accepting bribes, committing official coercion, and abuse of his position as an official. During Wednesday's court proceedings, the judge of instruction considered Richardson's arrest legitimate. Prosecutor's office spokesperson Roderick Governor said, Mr. Richardson, through his attorney, Shajmara Wolfsberg, said in a statement on Wednesday that he definitely feels targeted and fully intends to fight for his freedom and innocence. Richardson is in restrictive custody and cannot have any contact with anyone other than his lawyer and law enforcement. His lawyer said Richardson will still have faith in a fair trial. According to the Daily Herald, Mr. Richardson was arrested by the TBO in 2018 in connection with the Emerald case, an investigation into fraud and corruption at the Port of St. Martin, in which he was suspected of accepting bribes and of having committed tax fraud. And finally, out of the British Virgin Islands. Newborns or infants new to the territory could be without healthcare benefits for as long as 3 months if parents fail to register them with the National Health Insurance NHI on time. BVI.news.com says the NHI gave that indication in a recently published newsletter while informing parents how to properly register their babies. In order to avoid the 3-month penalty, have your baby registered within his or her first month. The penalty stipulates that the beneficiary will not have access to his or her healthcare benefits until 3 months after the effective registration date, said the NHI, who exempts children from making contributions to its health scheme. Older infants and children who are new to the territory should also be registered within 30 days of their arrival to the territory to avoid the 3-month penalty, the NHI added. That's it for regional stories. Stay with us for news from around the world.
Up in the next 10 minutes, Canadian...
Welcome back. Another international news in detail. Robert Mugabe, the Zimbabwean independence icon turned authoritarian leader, has died aged 95. Mr. Mugabe had been receiving treatment in a hospital in Singapore since April. He was ousted in a military coup in 2017 after 37 years in power. The former president was praised for broadening access to health and education for the black majority, but later years were marked by violent repression of his political opponents and Zimbabwe's economic ruin. His successor, Emerson Mnangagwa, expressed his utmost sadness, calling Mr. Mugabe an icon of liberation. Singapore's foreign ministry said it was working with the Zimbabwean embassy there to have Mr. Mugabe's body flown back to his home country. More in this BBC report.
In South Africa, the death of Robert Mugabe has been rather subdued, given that 2 years ago, when he was ousted in a military coup, people were out on the streets celebrating that he was out of power. But today, very, very small groups of people are talking about the demise of Robert Mugabe. And also there is a mixed reaction, particularly on social media and talk shows here. People are talking about Robert Mugabe as a dictator, but many others are remembering a liberator from white minority rule oppression.
Nicki Minaj says she's decided to retire and have a family, and told her fans that she loves them for life, the BBC said. As well as music, the 36-year-old has appeared in several Hollywood films and has her own radio show. She has not made it clear how many of her ventures she is retiring from, or even if she is being serious. She has been nominated for 10 Grammys, won 5 MTV Video Music Awards, and broken the record for the most Billboard Hot 100 entries by a solo female artist. UK opposition parties have agreed not to back Prime Minister Boris Johnson's demand for a general election before the EU summit in mid-October. Labour, the Lib Dems, the Scottish National Party SNP, and Plaid Cymru say they will vote against the government or abstain in Monday's vote on whether to hold a snap poll. The SNP's Ian Blackford said they wanted to make sure the UK did not crash out in a no-deal Brexit, but the PM said the parties were making an extraordinary political mistake. MPs supported a bill on Wednesday that would force Mr. Johnson to ask for an extension from the EU if a deal hasn't been agreed ahead of October 31st deadline. The legislation, designed to prevent a no-deal Brexit, is expected to finish its progress to the House of Lords on Friday. The BBC's Jonathan Blake reports.
For now, opposition parties appear united in not allowing Boris Johnson to call an early general election yet. Although they do all want to give the public the chance to vote, they simply don't trust the Prime Minister not to somehow engineer the timetable to allow Brexit to happen beforehand. Labour, the SNP, the Liberal Democrats and others have agreed to vote against or abstain on a government motion on Monday in pursuit of their common aim of forcing the Prime Minister to ask for a Brexit extension. He's ruled that out, but said this morning he wouldn't contemplate the idea of resigning either.
And finally, a panel of experts in technology has recommended that the United Nations UN needs to do more to stop North Korea from using cyber attacks to steal money to fund its illicit weapons program. More from the BBC's Celia Hatton.
The report to the UN says that North Korea has continually increased the scope and sophistication of its cyber activities, citing estimates that Kim Jong-un's regime has acquired as much as $2 billion through such digital attacks. In one instance, the report says, North Korean actors hacked into a country's entire ATM network to force 10,000 cash distributions across 20 countries within 5 hours. Cyber attacks need to be discouraged, the experts said, because at the moment Pyongyang considers them to be low risk, requiring only internet access and a laptop.
That's it for our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Every summer has a story. Create yours when you pick your summer loan from TDC Financial Services. Pick up to $25,000 unsecured. Pick your rate, pick your due date, pick your prices. Whether it be TDC gift cards, OTI vouchers, or back-to-school vouchers, and more. Pick what you spent $25,000 on and create your summer story when you pick your summer loan from TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In tennis, Serena Williams has another shot at winning a record equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title after demolishing Elina Svitolina to reach the U.S. Open final. The American 37 overpowered the Ukrainian 5th seed to win 6-3, 6-1. Williams, seeded 8th, is aiming for her first Grand Slam win since giving birth in September 2017. The 6-time champion will face Canadian 19-year-old Bianca Andreescu in Saturday's final in New York. In a gripping encounter, Andreescu defeated 22-year-old Swiss Belina Bencic 7-6, 7-5, winning the last 5 games of the match. Andreescu, who is playing in the U.S. Open main draw for the first time and competing in only her 4th Grand Slam, was born 9 months after Williams won her first title at Flushing Meadows in 1999. Williams is already considered by many as the greatest female player ever, yet will not be satisfied herself until she has leveled and then overtaken Australian Margaret Court's total of Grand Slam singles titles. In cricket, Guyana Amazon Warriors beat St. Lucia Zouks by 13 runs. Scores: Guyana Amazon Warriors 155 for 9 in 20 overs. St. Lucia Zouks 142 in 20 overs. Still in cricket, Hayley Matthews has been withdrawn from the West Indies women's squad for the upcoming series against Australia. This has arisen from a charge of breaching the CWI Code of Conduct following an incident that took place on Wednesday, September 4th in Antigua. The matter has been referred to the CWI Disciplinary Tribunal. Hayley was selected as part of the 13-member squad to play against Australia women, and the CWI Interim Selection Panel has named Shineta Grimond as a replacement. CWI will make no further comment at this time. And finally, in athletics, 6-time Olympic champion Allyson Felix will be the star attraction at the Grand North City Games, which is being held in Stockton for the first time. The 33-year-old American will compete in a 150-meter event on a pop-up track on Stockton High Street on Saturday. British Paralympic champions Johnny Peacock and Sophie Han will be taking part in 100-meter races. Compatriots Nathaniel Mitchell Blake and Harry Akins Ayating line up in the men's 150 meters. American former world and Olympic champion LaShawn Merritt, 33, is in a headline act in the men's 400 meters, which will run along the Teesside High Street. The field includes British trio Martin Rooney, Dwayne Cohan, and Guy Learmonth, who drops down from the 800 meters. That's it for sports. The general weather report is next. Welcome back. Another look over the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of brief showers. Weather tomorrow will be partly cloudy in the morning, becoming locally cloudy in the afternoon with a 50% or moderate chance of showers. Winds are light and variable or even calm in some places overnight, and southeast at 4 to 8 knots or 7 to 15 kilometers tomorrow. Seas are less than 1.2 meters or less than 4 feet. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:58 a.m. And that's a wrap up the major news package for today, Friday, 6 September 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Red Cross launches emergency response operation for the Bahamas, and Four Seasons Resort Nevis employees to commence work at resort on September 16th. Regionally, Hurricane Dorian death toll still on the rise in the Bahamas, looting a concern. Internationally, Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's strongman ex-president, dies aged 95. And in sports, Serena Williams reaches US Open final and may face Bianca Andreescu. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a safe and enjoyable weekend.